Cougar here.
And Dew.
Today we're going to show you how to make SitUpons 3 different ways. Our first way will be out of a Ziploc bag. Then we have the traditional one, which is done out of a vinyl tablecloth. And finally, we have our duct tape version. Let's get started. I am going to show you the easiest way to make a SitUpon. It can be with things that you have at your house most likely. Ziploc bag. We have some paper shred. If you have newspaper, you can also use that. Some string. Some duct tape. I have leftover duct tape from various projects. A hole punch and a pair of scissors. So what you're going to do is you are going to take your Ziploc bag, and I am going to transfer all of my shred from this bag into my Ziploc bag. And I'm going to very carefully, hopefully I don't make a mess, I'm going to dump it all in. And I'm going to give it a little shake. I'm going to close the Ziploc bag, but before I get to the very end, I'm going to squish some of the air out so when I sit on it, it doesn't go poof. And then finish closing it. And then kind of shake your paper shred around. And then you're going to take your duct tape, whatever duct tape you have at home. I am going to use my superhero tape because I really like that one. So you're just going to take a couple pieces of duct tape, and I'm doing this on a plastic board so I don't get my table all duct tapey. And I am going to tape over the top of my Ziploc bag, and I'm making it, you can see it's overlapping a little bit. And then I'm going to tear my tape. I'm going to flip my bag around, and then I'm going to take another piece of tape, and I am going to go right over the top of that first piece to get it all secured in there. And you'll notice it is kind of out on the ends, and I did that so that I can take my hole punch, and I have 2 of them here. We're going to see which one works. And I'm going to punch, that one's not going to work. We're going to take this, and you're just going to punch a hole on one side and a hole on the other side. So there's one hole there and one hole there. And then I'm going to take my string, and I'm just going to guess because I want to be able to carry my SitUpon over my shoulder when I'm at camp. So I'm just going to kind of guess how much I need. And you know what? I might want to wrap it around so I can wear it over my shoulder. So I'm going to say about like that. And I'm going to do a little bit more so I can tie a knot. So then I'm going to take my string and I'm going to loop it through the one hole. And I'm going to take the other end and loop it through the other end. And I'm going to bring them together, and then I'm just going to do an overhand knot. So I'm going to take both strings, make a loop, take the 2 ends, push it through the loop, and pull it out. And I now have my portable SitUpon. And it's a little long, but that's okay. I can shorten up the string. So now you have an easy way to make a SitUpon where you need to go.
A really traditional way to make a SitUpon is with a vinyl tablecloth. I have one that's got lots of stains on it, so it doesn't matter if I cut it out. Ask your parent before you do this. So for the sake of time, I went ahead and drew out a square. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. And I have left it on a fold because that is one less side that I have to sew up. I punched some holes with my hole punch, and I've been taking my thread and going in and out. And now that I have hit a point, I don't want to close it all the way up because this is not a very comfortable SitUpon. So you can stuff it with newspaper, or if you have a piece of carpeting or something, you can put that in. I have some fiber fill here, and I'm just going to stuff in enough to make it comfortable, and I can arrange the fiber fill later to make it move it around. I'm going to do about that much. And then I'm going to line up my edges, find where I put my needle. And you don't need a needle, you can just run the thread in and out with your fingers, that works too. When I get to the end, I left my thread extra long because that way I can tie it up here and have a way to carry it. And I'm just going to go ahead and tie it in a knot, an overhand knot, because that's the easiest one. And then snip off the ends. And I just arrange my fiber fill, and I have a SitUpon.
So another way to make a SitUpon is out of duct tape. So today we're going to make duct tape sheets to make our SitUpon. I have already pre-done one of our sheets. It is still sticky on the back. I used one of my quilting mats so that I didn't get the kitchen table all sticky. So I'm going to set this one aside. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your duct tape. It can be any color. I'm using red so you can see it on the mat because my mat's gray. So you're just going to pull out duct tape and you're just going to make strips until you get it to your desired size. I am going to finish my duct tape strips. I'm not going to talk while I do this because it makes a lot of noise. So now that I have my other sheet done, I am going to start pulling it up from the end where I laid my first strip, because that way all of my strips are overlapping and they will all stay together. So it just pulls up off of my plastic mat really nicely, and I'm going to flip it over, and this might be where you need a friend. So I am so glad that I have a friend, Dew, who can help me with this, because we're going to take our fiber fill, which I have a bag of fiber fill. Again, you can use newspaper, old t-shirts, your brother's socks. And we're just going to take some fiber fill, and I am going to stick it onto my duct tape. And the reason we left the sheets sticky is so that the fiber fill will stick to it. I need a little bit more. Oops, everything is sticky. And that's why you need a friend. And that's why you need a friend. So, that looks like a good amount of fiber fill on there. I think it feels nice and soft. What do you think, Dew?
Looks soft to me.
And then we're going to take our other sheet of duct tape and we are going to lay it over the top. And Dew's going to hold one side and I'm going to hold one side, and we're going to hold it in, and we're just going to kind of squish it down so that the sides kind of fit together. And then any of these rough edges, because you notice that kind of looks a little rough, we're just going to fold these over a bit. And it doesn't have to look pretty, because what we're going to do is we're going to take our duct tape, and I'm going to take another strip, and I'm going to make it the length, and I'm going to put it over the top of where my seam is, and I'm leaving some on the back side, and so then I can flip it over, and then I can make it so that that is all secure in there. And I'm just going to do that on all four sides. And now I have an easy SitUpon.